All right, what's up guys? Alex Comstock here with Whitetail DNA. And on today's YouTube video, we're gonna talk about calling during the rut, how to call, when to call, should you call, and all that good stuff. But before we jump into today's video, I'm gonna ask that you head down, hit the like and subscribe button. That really helps us out and I really appreciate it. You know, we love all the support we get. And if you head over to our podcast, we've been putting out a lot of podcasts. You know, we've one a week for the last year and a half. I mean, we're on, right around 80 episodes, so really appreciate the support there. And then lastly, before we jump into the video, I want to talk a little bit about Numa Outdoors. We've been working with Numa this year, and as we're in the rut time frame, the Ventus setup they've got, the Ventus hat, jacket, and pants is a great outer layer to be wearing during the rut. You can, got 100 gram Primaloft in the torso, 60 gram in the arms. It's got a micro fleece on the outside, super soft. So if you head over to numaaoutdoors.com, link in description, use code WDNA20 at checkout, you're gonna save 20%, and that's, never hurts to save a few bucks, and I really encourage you to check out Numa. But with that, let's talk about some calling. So during the rut, there's kind of a few different camps. There's people that love to call all the time, so you gotta be doing it. There's people that will kind of call, sometimes call, and there's people that don't call at all. For like on our team, like team member Luke Ellison, I know loves to hit those Rattling antlers about every hour, on the hour during the rut, whereas team member Jeremy Lopez is not a huge caller, just doesn't do it much, and that's just two different camps of thought, and there's no right or wrong. But I want to talk about my perspective. My perspective during the rut is I definitely like to call, especially as you get into that like true rut time frame, like that November 3rd, 4th, 5th, and through the month. It can be a great time to call because you just never know what could be hearing you. And the question is, how much do you call? And so if I'm gonna sit all day, there are definitely days that I'll call every hour to two, and that just usually means a quick rattling sequence. And then there are days where I don't rattle as much based on I'm seeing a lot of deer or, whatever the case is. But the other time to call is if you're calling at a buck. So a buck's coming by at 75 yards, working away from you, and you need to get his attention, so you need to hit the grunt call or rattle the antlers. So I want to talk about two different calling scenarios. The first is going to be the grunt tube. So right here we've got this grunt call from Woodhaven, and this is the Ninja, the whitetail Ninja. And what's cool about this grunt call is you can change the tone of it with the tube. You can also snort wheeze. So there are different kinds of grunts you can be doing. And the first one I want to talk about is just like, hey, I'm trying to get that buck's attention, like, hey buck, there's another buck here. And that's just something simple, like pretty simple. Like just a couple blows in the tube. You're not trying to get crazy, just you're trying to just get them to like look up and look at you. And now I might give him a couple of those. So as he's walking away, I might give him another. So you get a little bit of a longer call there. And then some people will do what they call their, some people will call it like a breeding grunt, but like that long is sometimes, and I've heard it in real life, those bucks coming by and they're just kind of constantly grunting as they're chasing a doe. And that's more of the, you get that longer boop, 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 boop as he's walking, and then another kind of roar. There's really no, I don't think, true science behind the grunt calling. You're just trying to get their attention. Now the snort wheeze is definitely like, hey, I want to fight, come check me out. And that's just a, so you kind of, and that's definitely like a dominant, a buck's either, it's kind of like my last scenario, or it's the last thing I'm going to try, because a buck's either really going to like it and come in for a fight, or he might tuck tail and get out of there. So it's kind of like reading that body language. But again, it's just kind of accentuate that last, and it's either going to work or it's not. That's kind of calling in a nutshell. It's either going to work or it's not. And then with rattling, there's a few different kinds of rattling. Couple things with rattling antlers. I like a couple big antlers because they're pretty good size. They're the same side, and having the same side antlers help me not like puncture my fingers and whatnot. I usually put, like, it's getting old, I kind of have some old like hockey tape around the bottoms with the string, and then I cut off the brow tines because that's where you're gonna get punctured. But you can do like a light rattling sequence of just like trying to get their attention. You're just hitting the horns, tinkling them. Just kind of like that, not getting too aggressive. And that's either, again, I see a buck in the distance trying to get his attention, or you're just kind of like trying to mimic that tine tinkling. And that's more of the pre-rut time frame. Now, when you get into the heaviness of the rut and you are gonna really rattle, like a big rattling sequence, I'll go for 30 to 60 seconds, and I'll just do a couple seconds here. But what I wanna show with this is that I think a lot of people do rattling sequences and they just keep it light the whole time, and they're just literally going like this, expecting a big buck to come in. And when I go after it, I mean, I go after it. So I'll take and go. And if you do that for 30 to 60 seconds, by the end of it, your arms are gonna be tired, you're gonna be tired. That's when you know you're getting after it with a real rattling sequence. Sometimes, you know, if I've got brush around me, I'll brush it. If I'm on the ground, you do that. And it's just really smashing those antlers together, grinding them, and thinking if you've got two big bucks fighting, what's it gonna sound like? So that's kind of like my quick 101 on when to call, how to call, should you call. Obviously there's other calls you can use, like a can call, like a doe and estrus. That's pretty simple. You take the can and flip it. Sometimes I'll blow into it. And that's kind of also just like a, hey buck, come check me out, I'm a doe who's ready to breed kind of thing. So quick 101, I hope you kind of learned something from it. I know I went fast, but we did do a podcast last year all about calling. I'll drop that in the description as well. And with that, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next video.